This video is going to be a quick repair on this heat shield. I noticed it was rattling right away when this heat shield obviously broke loose from the vehicle and was sitting on top of the muffler, and essentially anytime you'd stop it would make a awful rattle. And as you can see, where the nuts were securing it to the vehicle, they have rusted right through. Now normally aluminum doesn't rust, and you can see the rest of this heat shield is in good shape, but because the bolts and nuts are not aluminum, what has happened is something called galvanic corrosion, and it's caused the aluminum to rust in those spots. Now all I did was go to Home Depot and grab 3 washers that are bigger than the nut and are obviously compatible with the bolt, and I'm going to just apply those. So this fix cost me about 95 cents, so overall pretty good deal. One thing I would note is if you're working under your vehicle looking up at your muffler, wear some sort of eye protection because you're going to get rust in your face like crazy. And all these bolts came out really easy, likely as a result of the galvanic corrosion. What essentially happens is aluminum takes the corrosion hit and not the steel, and you can see under the vehicle it's actually really free of rust in that area as well. So anywhere where that aluminum heat shield was is really rust free. A lot of rust on the rest of the vehicle, but where the heat shield was is good to go. And the nut and bolt also pretty decent. And you can see the bolts there. Like I said, there's 3 of them, and they're blocking the heat from the resonator. Now I don't really show myself under the vehicle doing this just because it's so close up, but I do use some Loctite. I use a regular wrench, a socket, and this is probably the one I use the most. Is this standard wrench, but that has the ratcheting attachment on it as well. And it just allowed you to reach into smaller places. Now getting back under the vehicle, you can see I've put it back in place above the resonator and fastened it with the new washers and old nuts. And just like that, it's pretty much done. And like I said, it just fell down and was sitting on top of that resonator. So anytime you were going really slowly or stopped at a red light or something, it would just make an awful noise. The other thing you want to make sure is that the heat shield is not touching anything around it, because obviously if it's vibrating against another piece of metal, it'll make an awful noise again. So that's it. Super fast, super easy, less than $1 Canadian and done. Anyway, thanks for checking out my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.